live from Palm Beach, Florida. And my voice is a little under the weather, so I won't be able to speak as loudly as I usually do, but I'll get closer to the microphone.
And they may have to,
let's begin with Iran and with the fact that the Ayatollah rejected a proposal late yesterday, submitted a new proposal today. President hasn't formally rejected it, but has said he doesn't like it. And looks like he's at the end of his rope. That's what I would say. But why don't we listen to him at the Villages, first on that and then on a couple of other things.
We're just winning. We're just winning. If it were a fight, they'd stop it. If this were a fight, they'd stop it. You know that expression? It's true. But they're not coming through with the kind of deal that we have to have, and we're going to get this thing done properly. We're not going to leave early and then have the problem arise in 3 more years. Forever, or do we want to try and make...
You had the CENTCOM commander come in here yesterday. Was he briefing you on a different approach, options? What kind of options? How would it look different?
There are options. I mean, do we want to go and just blast the hell out of him and finish him forever, or do we want to try and make a deal? I mean, those are the options.
Do you want to go blast the hell out of him?
I'd prefer not. Forever? On a human basis, I prefer not, but that's the option. Do we want to go in there heavy and just blast them away, or do we want to do something? They're a very disjointed unitship, as you can understand, Peter, very disjointed.
I think that gives it away, ladies and gentlemen. Or do we want to blast the hell out of them? On a human basis, no. However, we're going to have to do something. Well, that says to me he's going to do something. It's going to be less than blasting them to Kingdom Come, but it's going to be quite strategic in attempting to accomplish. This is just me reading the tea leaves. He can try to accomplish two things with Israel and possibly with the help now of the UAE. He is going to attempt to decimate whatever a new leadership there is, so he can create a reform movement, a change of regime that will be meaningful, meaning they will support non-nuclear, they'll support not supporting the proxies, they won't be terrorists. And God willing, they'll create some kind of decent government for the poor people of Iran. And second, he's going to hit the energy sources and decimate those even faster and quicker rather than wait for the 2 or 3 weeks that would be accomplished by what he's doing with the blockade. And see if that doesn't bring him to their knees. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think it's going to happen over this weekend or early next week, because I don't see him wanting to carry this much further. I think May is the month he wants to conclude this. I think he's going to get it concluded in May. Well, that's my opinion, at least, Ted.
Right.
Now, the president also had some other words for the people there. Maybe we could have a lighter moment.
Right. So the president today was in the
I mean, I don't know if people know what the Village is. People in Florida, of course, know what the Village is. Villages is the largest retirement community in the United States. I don't know how many people it is, 30, 40,000.
And you've been there, right, Mayor?
Oh, yeah, many times. I had great rallies there. When I was running for president, I went there for Trump. I went there for McCain.
Right.
I love going there. It's fabulous.
Right. So
they're all from New York.
So we'll start with the president arriving here. We'll start out with the president arriving at the Villages. Here we have him coming in here. Double screen here with you. That's him arriving. That's from my friend Margot. Big crowd. Indoors.
Yeah, that's only one of 3 venues.
We have 3 of those.
Yeah, that's the main tent, but the overflow tent is bigger. And he was annoyed that they put him in the smaller tent.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember this. It was yesterday. We do these with him. When they make mistakes like this, he gets.
Yeah. But you know what they're doing when they do that. Mm-hmm. They want to make it. They don't. You rather go a little bit too small than a little bit too big. I'm
sure it's security. Notice how much room they're giving him.
Yeah.
The Secret Service obviously has to be a little even though it's the villages,
Right.
why wouldn't somebody speak in there and stuck into the Washington Hilton?
Right. So the next clip we're going to play here. This is the president had some words for the congresswoman from the great state of Minnesota.
You know, you're not. But I would imagine they're looking at her. I have nothing to do with it. And then she married a brother to come in. I don't know, you know, you're not. But I would imagine they're looking at her. I have nothing to do with it. I would imagine. Of course I have nothing to do. I have nothing, but I believe she married her brother, which is totally illegal. Although it's a lovely couple, actually, but it's a little bit on the illegal side. Darling, I love you very much. Good night, brother. Let's go to bed. Good night. Isn't she despicable? I can't stand her.
Yeah, she's a piece of crap. The answer to that is yes. She's a horrible, despicable human being. And she's one of the reasons that the Somalians have been so misled. But of course, what do we expect? The country is one of the most corrupt and disorganized countries on the planet.
Right. So
they come to Minneapolis in large numbers. They figure out how in Minneapolis Democrats steal, and they steal like crazy.
Right.
I'd like to get the remarks he made about him being younger than everybody.
Right. That's the next one.
This is really funny.
So this is the president. Yes, as the mayor said.
I won't give him up.
We've issued $2.5 million Florida seniors over $13 billion. Now think of that. Now, I don't happen to be a senior. I'm much younger than you. I'm a much younger man than you. Look at you old guys. Wouldn't you like to be my age? It's young, vital, vibrant. Now, I'm much, much younger than the people in this room, but I feel I can relate to you anyway. See, now the fake news will go tonight, and they'll say, he's claiming to be younger than the people. You understand? That means more money to visit your grandkids, bigger budget for taking a trip to someplace that you want to go, or extra dinners out with your family. You're going to do a lot. We've issued $2.5 million Florida seniors over $13 billion.
That was funny.
The reality is, most of them are probably younger than him.
Yeah.
And me. Shh, shh, shh. Don't tell anybody.
That's
very, very cute. And they got it. They got it. The
media, of course, probably didn't.
Don't tell me there isn't a war against religion. Don't tell me that, because you can't tell me that. Here, a war against England's Jews is underway, says Brendan O'Neill in the Post today. Mobs of anti-Semites are raining hellfire and savagery on my country's peaceful, decent Jewish population. Synagogues have been firebombed. Jews have been murdered by radical Islamists. And Wednesday brought a frenzied knifing attack on two visibly Jewish men in London. This is a moral emergency. For me, there is no doubt whatsoever. The left's frothing demonization of Israel has endangered our Jewish compatriots. If you want to know where the scourge of Israelophobia can lead, what horrors it can lead to, look no further than the United Kingdom. Wednesday's anti-Semitic atrocity was truly unnerving. In Golders Green, a part of London with a large Jewish population, a man with a knife jabbed ferociously and randomly at two men, one in his 70s, the other in his 30s. Both were seriously injured. Their crime? They were out, proud Jews, on the streets of London. Terrifying. That's become a risky business in 21st century Britain. Their four-head solar ambulances were incinerated last month, and Jews are being beaten in larger numbers than ever before in London. More so now by quite a percentage, quite a per capita percentage, more so than in France. And basically on a per capita basis, about 10 times more than the United States. And we're having a real problem. Sniveling silence of progressive. Last year in October on Yom Kippur, 2 Jews were murdered in an Islamic assault on a synagogue in Manchester. Jihad al-Shami slaughtered them on the holy day. Mere hours after, leftist mobs were on the streets chanting, globalize the Intifada, which the mayor of New York wants to do. Well, King Charles this week is visiting the United States. Here's his chance to take a stand. Come on. King Charles taking a stand? Isn't that why his mother didn't want him to be king? I think. He didn't take a stand, by the way, just in case you want to know. Boycott of Jewish Jewish goods in Brooklyn's Park Slope. An attempt to do a complete boycott of Israel. So yes. There's a worldwide attack on Jewish people going on. A Jewish man from Park Slope named Ramon Maslin, who's a member of the Park Slope Food Co-op, expresses his views on it. And he says it is happening with the tacit support of a portion of the Jewish community. I don't know if that's the main problem, Ramon. Certain portion of Islam has been dedicated to the extermination of the Jewish people from the day Muhammad announced that Allah wanted that. And also, they're doing the same thing with Christians. I mean, a foul-mouthed band of protesters harassed diners at a Jewish restaurant in Manhattan. They're calling them pedophiles and yelling, "Bomb Israel." It was April 17th, outside Motek, a kosher restaurant in the Flatiron District. I mean, this is happening all over.
Right.
This is not an isolated situation. It is not an isolated situation. Now, Christians also aren't let off the hook here either. First of all, Christians were targeted pretty well by the Biden administration, Catholic though he was. 14 findings from a panel pointed out that Christians were persecuted with prosecutions and other things just for having traditional biblical views. Catholics, for example, were put under scrutiny, had their privacy invaded, and worse, because they would go to Latin masses, and that made them traditional Catholics and nationalists. Now we go to Africa, where, remember when Trump pointed out that Nigeria was awash in killing of Christians? Well, it's true. He's the only one to say it. Nobody is joining him in it.
Yeah.
And now, Al-Qaeda has led militants bent on building an African caliphate. And they're closing in on Mali's capital and forcing a retreat of Russian mercenaries who were meant to staunch the spread of Islamic group across the country. These are jihadist attacks on April 25. They want to take over the country and create a little Iran. And they are killing the Catholics, the Christians, the Protestants, and as Muhammad did, everybody that's in their way. So yes, anti-Semitism is the worst of it, but Christians are getting killed in very, very large numbers as well. And somehow we have to have the capacity to focus on both because we do a good job of ignoring both. And as I pointed out on my earlier show, I have to give you a very alarming statistic. This frightens the hell out of me. When I tried to take a look at some comparison of what's going on in the UK, let's say to the United States,
yeah,
or even to France,
right,
And obviously no one knows how good the statistics are, but there's enough of a gap here so that it says something to you, right? So in the UK, there's 11.8. There were 11.8 attacks on Jews in 2025 per 100,000. In the US, there were 1.3. So, I mean, if you say that the UK is a little exaggerated, I don't know why you'd want to exaggerate the attack on Jews. And if you say the US is a little down, it's still a hell of a difference, right? It can't be off by that. 11.8 to 1. Isn't that 10 times?
Right.
Now, France is 3.0. Now, that I would imagine might be fudged. Right. But even there, I imagine if it's fudged, it's probably 5 or 6, not the same 11.8 that it is in the UK. But then you want to really get into dangerous numbers? Go take the two Axis powers in Europe, the ones that were committed to the extermination of the Jewish people, Germany and Italy. In Italy, it's 32 to 36 per 100,000. That's 3 times UK. And 32 to 36 tells me Italy doesn't keep very good statistics. Now, how about the highest? Frightening. Germany. Germany's back where they used to be. 46 per 100,000. 4 times the UK. Multiples, much more than the US. The country that attempted to eliminate all Jewish people is now killing 46 per 100,000. Or not killing, but attacking. Who knows how many they're killing. And they had done a pretty good job of controlling it up until now. And what Mirrors is worried about is the Iran war and that America's losing it and he won't help. Sounds like a guy who agreed with Hitler. Hitler's best friend was the Grand Mufti of Palestine, and they both liked the idea of exterminating the Jewish people.
Right.
Where the hell are you? I mean, stop criticizing Trump, you piece of crap, and do something about all these anti-Semitic incidents.
Right. And it's like,
this has got to stop. The attacks on the Jews, the attacks on the Christians, they've got to stop. And we've got to stand up for it. And we've got to do what's necessary, whatever is necessary. If the president's got to take troops out of Germany and say to the chancellor, you want to go down history as another Hitler?
right. Maybe this will spur some action. And, the mayor, why is it that they paint the president as some sort of,
Oh, he's a Nazi.
Right.
Like Kelly's a Nazi. They're Nazis. The Nazi is the guy running in Maine.
Plattner, let's go to Maine here.
Yeah, let's go to the guy with the Ushkatafel thing. You know the group that he took the symbol
I love how
of?
you pronounce those.
The group that he took the symbol of is the group that planned the Holocaust. And by the way, please understand, the guy is a very well-educated, ne'er-do-well rich kid.
Right. Let's get
who went to private boarding schools, 20 to 40,000 back in those days per year,
Totally.
just to go to grammar school and high school. He is supposed to be a history buff. So he knew very well what that piece of crap on his breast was. His rather feminine looking breast.
So this is the Democrat Senate candidate in Maine. He'll be taking on Suzanne Collins.
He's also pro-Hamas, anti-Israel, anti-Jew, pro-Palestinian. And he's got to be anti-American too. Imagine a guy in the American military wearing the Totenkopf tattoo. It's the group that was planning the Holocaust because he likes the Holocaust. This is the Democrat Party candidate for the United States Senate. Imagine if that guy walks into the United States Senate.
I should say he's a front runner. He's not the nominee yet.
Well, hasn't she dropped out? Mills?
Yes, but there's still an election. I think there's some other minor candidates. I mean, he will be the nominee, but I want to use the right
Well,
language.
can he? I mean,
Can he
are the
lose? That's
people
what
of
we-
Maine that bad? Are they really going to nominate a guy that sticks that piece of crap on his breast? I don't care if he's sorry as hell for it. Just don't go to the Senate, pal.
Right.
I just can't trust you in the Senate. Too much anti-Semitism going on, too much hatred. We don't need a guy who, as an adult, decided to put on the emblem of people who support the Holocaust and killed 6 million Jews. We don't need that. We don't need you, and we need a party without Schumer, who supports him. Now, this has got to be the biggest rat that ever existed. If you're Jewish and you don't feel this guy is a turncoat on the Jewish people, I don't know, there got to be something wrong with you, huh?
Right.
I'm not Jewish, but I support Israel and I support the Jewish people, and I think he's a turncoat.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think it would get worse when he decided to interfere in the election and try to defeat Bibi, or started yelling to basically kill Kavanaugh. Now he wants a stormtrooper in the Senate as one of his colleagues.
Right.
You don't care.
Right. So that'll be interesting.
You're gonna vote for this crap? I mean, you're gonna vote for a party like that? What are you, crazy?
Susan Collins is the last Republican in New England. She's the
We
last
got
Republican.
50,000 troops in Germany. Why don't we take them down to about 30 and move them someplace else? I got a couple of good suggestions. Poland, now Czech Republic, one of the Balkans. Spread them around, stick them a little closer to Putin. See how he feels about that. He needs to get pushed a little.
President is the United States is withdrawing 5,000 troops from Germany.
He's decided that?
Yep. So this, of course, this is in response to
In response to him saying that we lost to Iran and they made a fool out of us. Boy, is he gonna have to eat his words.
And you know what? Yeah, and
he's
you know
already,
what?
he's already apologized for it.
Well, damn right he should have apologized. But how, Mayor, isn't that just indicative of so many so-called leaders of our country where Germany felt just that they could say something like that with no repercussions, right?
Why does he worry about all the Jews they're attacking?
Germany's got
a hell of a history to be attacking Jews,
right.
and it's the one country in the world that should. And when I went to Europe, oh God, in 04, 05 for George Bush for the anti-Semitic conference, I have to tell you, I was impressed with the steps that Germany took to keep anti-Semitism under control. Much more than France, much more than England, much more than Italy. Boy, they have changed. Boy, did that Merkel destroy them.
Yeah.
Did she destroy
Right.
the whole country? She also made them non-productive.
Right.
The Germans were the most productive country in Europe.
Right. Right.
But we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Gotta pay the bills.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost. cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly, where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
Welcome back to
America.
America's Mayor Live, even though America's Mayor is only 3/4 alive because of the cold. Did you know you can build an entire online business with Sticker Mule Pro? Now, Sticker Mule Pro is only $9 a month, and it comes with everything you need to build your own patriotic merchandise online. You can sell patriotic merchandise, spread the glory and honor and love of this country. And you get an e-commerce store. You get an email marketing service. You get SMM marketing. You get a customer service platform and more. Sign up today at stickermule.com/pro. That's stickermule.com/pro and use code Rudy for 3 free months. So let's go through a couple of things quickly. The House approved a measure finally to fund the Department of Homeland Security. My boy can get paid now.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And all the people that work for him.
Right.
Trump had to withdraw his second nominee for Surgeon General, and he's nominated someone. He's nominated someone you know who was on Fox. The Senate passed a resolution prohibiting its members from trading on prediction markets. That was good, right? Tens of millions of taxpayers might be able to take advantage of the IRS court decision because of the tax deadlines, and they would charge penalties and what shouldn't have been, and they may be able to get them back. So let's see if that happens. And the president was saying he was going to take troops out of Germany, and he has. He's taken 5,000 out.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about Janet Mills, the governor in Maine, dropping out in favor of the absolute disgrace Nazi. Now, you want another disgrace, and that's President Sheinbaum of Mexico, who is protecting the drug dealer governor of Sinaloa, who was indicted the other day. And she now finds issues with the indictment. She doesn't know if the indictment has enough evidence to extradite him to the United States. Wow. Is that going to create a problem with the boss? What do you think, Ted?
Well, you're right.
Sheinbaum?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you better go find a place to hide.
Right.
And probably the cartels will give it to you.
Right.
Because how much are they paying you off? Like they were paying him off.
And it's amazing, right? Where these
everybody
cartels have
knows
so
they
much
run
power.
your country. Why are you pretending?
Right.
Why are you pretending?
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, I think we do get it.
No reason to pretend.
It just shows how much influence and power they have and how weak, I guess, this Sheinbaum is at the end of the day.
Yeah, and has been forever.
Yeah.
The national debt is outrageously now more than the GDP, a little over. It's 102% of the GDP, 2% higher than our GDP. In other words, we have more debt than we have value.
Oh, Rand and Ron Paul, you know, they don't love hearing that.
Well, that's a big problem, and it should be addressed. But politicians don't like to address it because you got to take some things from people.
Yeah.
But there is a way to do it. I did it, and I got reelected by 18%. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And I explained it, and it worked.
You think we could apply that at the national level?
Of course we should. We have to. We don't have a choice.
So should somebody?
We're headed for a catastrophe. We're headed for a catastrophe.
How would you?
It's just not the same.
How can you?
I would do. Ronald Reagan had the answer, and then he had to stop because of the military buildup. And maybe this president has to too. I don't know. He did a 10% cut the first year, another 10% cut the second year. Then he had to stop because he had to beat the Soviets.
Right.
A piece of good news. It's turned out that in the Appalachian Mountains, we have a sprawling multi-million-dollar cache of lithium that could last hundreds of years. 2.5 metric tons at least of this battery precursor, mostly in the Carolinas, Nazi guy, Maine, and Dr. Maria's New Hampshire. Oh. And this means we won't be dependent on other countries for lithium. Right now, Australia is the number one producer, but we very shortly will be able to. Very shortly, we're going to be able to challenge them as the preeminent country. Well, you know I love baseball, and this is a fascinating discussion, Ted. There is a player that the White Sox got from Japan. And White Sox, I don't think have ever taken a player from Japan. Okay. And they weren't sure whether to get him. It's Munetaka Murakami.
Oh, gosh.
And Munetaka Murakami is a home run hitter.
It's the White Sox? White Sox?
The White Sox. He's a home run hitter. And this year, for example, which is only, about a third into the year, maybe less, he's got 12 home runs.
Oh, we know where this is going.
He's on a track to have 240 strikeouts and possibly 50 home runs. So far, all year, he's had 12 home runs, not a single other extra base hit, no double, no triple. And he's had 14 singles.
Wow.
12 home runs, 14 singles.
Well, you know what's...
And then he strikes out.
But you know what's happening here.
What's happening?
The Dodgers want him.
The Dodgers want him?
Yeah.
Already?
Yes. And they're about to sign him.
The Dodgers are going to take him away from him? I didn't know that.
Of all the teams, why the heck is this real? Let me make sure I'm not being pranked here.
You are. I think you are. Because there's a real question about whether the Dodgers are so well-structured a team. I don't know that I go with a guy that strikes out as often as he does.
Yeah, this got to be a prank, right?
I don't know. It's a real gamble. Now the Dodgers are.
Yeah, that's satire. They got me there.
You could say in a way that the Dodgers are a balanced enough team, so maybe they could afford him. But they already have enough home run hitters that also are hitters, right?
Right.
And so
he's staying with the White Sox, but he's a. So what's the deal with this guy? So
about 61 of his plate appearances end with either a strikeout, a walk, or a homer.
And is that a?
Nobody's been above 58.8.
What is he at?
61% of his appearances end up in a strikeout, a walk, or a homer. Nobody has ever been above 58%.
Strikeout? Why do they count that?
What? Well, they're pointing out how often he strikes out.
But why are they including that with making it on base?
Well, they're showing he doesn't get hits.
Oh, okay.
But now what?
They're saying he doesn't. Oh, so you're saying?
But it does mean he has a 375 on base percentage,
which
at
the end of the day
is very productive. Can be productive.
Is what you want,
right? But a strikeout can be very, very devastating to a rally.
Okay.
A strikeout is you got a guy on second base and you strike somebody out.
Yeah, you want to. So you're saying he
Yeah.
doesn't make contact.
So I don't know. It's a very interesting. They like to think that at 30 home runs, even with all the strikeouts, he becomes worth it. And at 50 home runs, he's more than worth it.
Mhm.
That's what they say.
That's analytics at work.
Now, who have been like him? Dave Kingman was like that. Dave Kingman used to bat 210 and have 40 home runs. They hit the ball a mile.
So where would they put him at? In the 4 spot or the 3
Yeah,
spot?
wherever. The Mets had him. The Yankees had him for a little while. Joey Gallo was like that. Adam
Joey
Gunn,
Gallo,
Rob Deere. Rob Deere.
Joey didn't make it.
Aaron Judge isn't. Aaron Judge is like, I think last year had the leading batting average in the American League.
Yeah. Then he won the MVP, right?
Right. And what's his name is not like that either.
Soto?
No, the great one for
our friend for the
no,
Dodgers.
Soto's not like that either. You're right.
Ohtani,
yeah, he's not a strikeout guy. I mean, he's a strikeout guy, but he's not beyond
right.
Beyond something that's shocking.
That's right.
So Florida is going to do a new redistricting map because of the Supreme Court decision.
Yep.
And I don't know if they can get it in on time for this year.
Yeah.
You can bet that DeSantis will try like hell.
Right.
He's already drawn it up. It'll eliminate 4 Democratic held districts.
Isn't that amazing? And, they claim that it would make this district where we're at right now more red.
That'd be good.
That would be awesome. I mean, my goodness, ever since I've been down here, I've been waiting for.
Florida's Republican-controlled legislature approved a redrawn map of congressional districts on Wednesday that could give the GOP up to 4 more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives.
So
that should make things a little easier, don't you think?
Yeah, especially with what's going on in Virginia.
And everybody's trying to redraw maps, so we're going to have to see. There're going to be a lot of battles,
right?
And some states,
bless you,
some states are more restrictive than others. So you're going to have to see how this works out in different states.
Yes, sir.
It could be more restrictive in some than in others.
Right.
So,
well,
what's going to happen when we, I think, conduct this operation and take them out? Will it be enough either to convince them to make a deal on our terms or to flee?
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I know the answer to that. I imagine they do.
Right.
But maybe not.
Yeah. Okay.
But they got to take the risk.
Right.
They got to take the risk.
Yep.
The worst thing would be to leave this with the regime of terror still in power.
Yes.
And just hand it over to a next president, good or bad.
Right.
And we got him now where we want him. And we have to accomplish 3 things: non-nuclear, no support for the proxies, and the end of the reign of terror, the end of the domination, persecution, and inhumanity to the Iranian people and everybody else. That has to be accomplished. Otherwise, in history, this will be considered. You're talking about who won and who lost. That's what determines who won and who lost. Right. If the reign of terror is gone, Trump has won. If the reign of terror is there, it's going to be very hard to say that Trump won. Because although he hasn't made it recently one of the major goals, he has mentioned it enough at the beginning that the people should take them out. Right. And you would expect that if he said that, at the very beginning, they had intelligence that could happen. So that puts in doubt the solidity of that intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And also, that is really the best answer for the people of the world. I mean, this is a brutal, brutal regime, and there's nothing about it that is in any way something you can work with. It's clearly something that is one horrible thing after another. So I don't know.
Right.
I think it has to go there if we're going to be
Yep.
able to say that this was a victory.
Right. And Mayor, what can we accomplish by even let's say another few waves of bombing, right? Let's say we have another few waves of bombing. We know our military is the best in the world. No doubt it'll be successful in terms of from an operational standpoint. But can that effectively bring an end to this regime, or is the goal here just to get them back to the negotiating table?
We probably have both goals, right? The ultimate goal is end the regime.
Yes.
Sounds like we'd accept getting them back to the bargaining table.
Right.
And it really depends on what they have left.
Right.
Right. What I don't think we know.
But
What kind of resources do they have left to hang on? They have been hit very, very hard. They've been hit extremely hard, right?
They've been hit hard, but we're not hearing them. We're not hearing them back off on
they're not
on the nuclear program, and isn't that
they're not?
Yeah, and that's a sticking point.
But they're not. They're. That's the reason they can't be nuclear, because they're insane.
Right.
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can use their responses in any way to judge what's actually going to happen, because they are a maniacal regime, religiously maniacal regime. So even though some other regime would do bargaining at this point, they're going to stick it out and say, "Oh my goodness, we're going to die."
Right. Right. And
But you have to wonder how many of them believe it. There's got to be we know there's at least one division between the hardliners and the moderates, whatever that is. And the moderates want to make a deal. They want to live to fight another day. The others want to go all the way.
Right. And what we're missing now, because these the internal fighting has always kind of gone on, like in almost any government, but the ultimate arbiter was the Ayatollah Khomeini, right? And he's dead now. And so without that final decision maker in place, I'm not sure what your people are telling you, Mayor, but I'm reading that the IRGC wins out now in as far as final decision making. And how does that change the game? And does it actually make it less predictable, in that we kind of had people that understood the Ayatollah or could kind of predict his moves, where now there's a power vacuum, but it seems to have been filled by these IRGC commanders?
I don't think it's any more unpredictable than it's always been. They're not predictable because they're insane. They're not predictable because you only can predict based on rationality, and they're not rational. They're no more unpredictable than they have ever been. And they'll lie, and they'll posture, and we have no idea what kind of bad shape they're really in.
Right.
They could be in better shape than we think. They could be in worse shape than we think.
Right.
Another hit could topple them.
Right.
Another hit might not topple them, but it's worth doing.
Right.
It's worth doing because you will do the world a great favor by toppling them. And you'll do our children and grandchildren a great favor by toppling them. And I think he's got that now. I think he realizes it because they've jerked him around too much.
Right.
And they're too dangerous to keep there. So there's no talk like there was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago of people going there and negotiating. Or I think he's had it with the negotiating part. It's over. If it's over, then what's left?
Right. And the question being, of course, we also have to take into account Israel and what their plans would be, right? Just because, let's say we were to kind of see some of the military operations, who's to say Israel? Israel is pretty dead set on accomplishing their goals when it comes to Iran. But Mayor, what do you make of this Ayatollah that we haven't even seen yet? Is he alive? And
Boy,
does it
I
even
don't know.
matter?
I mean, effectively, he's not.
Right.
Effectively, he's either dead or he's a no face, like they said in that article that I think was sarcastic. I don't think they say they go to him for decisions, but that's like the Mueller people used to tell me they went to Mueller for decisions.
Right.
And he couldn't make a decision for the last 2 or 3 years that he was there. I mean, he's not making decisions. I do agree that ultimately, because they have the most power, the IRGC probably makes the final tough decision. And maybe what this hit has to be is to take them out.
Right. And do you think, Mayor, how much longer can the president kind of keep this kind of position where we're talking to them, not talking to them? We have the blockade in place. So can you give us maybe kind of run down the multiple scenarios on how this could play out over the course of the month of May?
Yeah,
you kind of talked about it.
It's going to be over with in the month of May. I believe it'll be over with in the month of May. And I believe that he's going to take the opportunity to try to get it over with quickly, like he and Israel are going to hit them over the next 3 or 4 days. That's what I think. And they're going to hit them with not, as he pointed out, he sort of gave us a hint, right? He said, I'm not going to destroy them completely. But I am, but there are other alternatives.
Right.
Other alternatives means very, very strong, massive tactical strikes at key. What are the 2 key things to eliminate? 1, the leadership that's blocking this. 2, their energy, so that they fall to the people. Because if energy goes down any further, the people will be starving. And then they just do a French Revolution. That happens. I mean, that's how these revolutions actually end up usually. So let's see. Keep posted all weekend, because I think this is going to be a critical. This is going to be a critical weekend. Now, politically, I think the president also wants this over with before we get into the summer, because for good reason, he has his eye on the 2026 election, because if that goes wrong, not only will he be able to do nothing else with Iran, but his whole agenda will be broken up.
Right.
Maybe not completely, but certainly to a very large extent. So when people say he's paying attention to the 2026 election, he doesn't have any choice but to do that.
Right. Right. And as you mentioned, I mean, the rest of his presidency hinges, a big part of his ability to get things done hinges on obviously the Senate, but also the House. And Mayor, what's your message to Americans who probably agree with us that this regime must be taken out, and Iran cannot obtain nuclear weapons, but they're upset with the gas prices? What's your message to Americans who are getting a little flustered?
The faster he can get rid of them, the faster the gas prices go down. There's no way to get the gas prices down when you have the Gulf of Hormuz blocked and you have a war going on. The only way to do it is to end the war. You either then compromise and concede, or you defeat them. And the far better course is to defeat them. And that's why some of the delaying for negotiations, I'm not sure I agreed with completely. I thought maybe 4 weeks ago we should have done this.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty obvious 3 or 4 weeks ago that they're not going to agree to anything reasonable.
Yeah, they're buying time.
So we have to try. And I don't call it a Hail Mary pass. I think it's a 50-50 at least shot at taking them out completely.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I think we've got them in a very, very bad spot, and we just got to get lucky and hit the right places. And we have to count on Israel, who has incredible intelligence, right?
The best. I mean, they say outside of us, I would say the best. And so could Israel do this alone?
No. I don't know. This is not taking out the nuclear facilities. They could not have done that alone. They needed our bunker buster bombs to do that. This is strategic bombing, but it's a lot of it. And I think just by the mere fact that it's a lot of it, you need a lot of planes and a lot of rockets and a lot of drones and a lot of, and they're going to need help. I even think we're going to probably ask the UAE to help us.
Right. So I'll rephrase that question, Mayor. If we start to see a lot more of a uprising from within the country, could Israel do this alone? Or would that that would make that much easier for us as well, right?
Oh yes, yeah. And Israel could encourage that. It would be different for Israel to encourage it than for us to do it.
Right.
And then we could support Israel behind the scenes.
Right.
And that's, I think, I do think that's part of what they're hoping.
Right.
But there are imponderables, as we've seen. War is not an exact science. It's not a science at all, actually. It's a strategy, and it's one strategy against another without a determined result. The result comes out of unknown factors, right?
The art of war.
Yeah.
It's an art, not a science.
It's extremely difficult.
And things can change.
Shall we listen to Pete for a minute?
Yeah, and of course, that's
we
what
might as well listen to our Secretary of Defense, who is doing a great job of orchestrating this, getting the right people in the right places with these great generals, and keeping our military in a high state of morale. Which, believe it or not, aside from the fact that obviously they have to be really capable and well armed, that's probably one of the most important factors in winning a war. Morale is so important. And sometimes it can make up for other weaknesses. So do we have?
Yep, we have P. Hegseth. Here we go.
Since 1939. And we know that it's a critical effort that we, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank our witnesses for joining us today. General Kane, Secretary Hegseth, Mr. Hurst, thank you so much. I want to go to a statement I've been making here for the last several years, and that is we are in the most dangerous national security position that this world has been in since 1939. And we know that it's a critical effort that we undertake to make sure we can deter through the concept of peace through strength. Ms. Secretary, I'd like to start with you. We know that peace through strength has a number of tenets. I think the most important of those is presence. And we know that the United States has the Marine Corps Amphibious Ready Group, Marine Corps Expeditionary Unit, that provides us that presence. We know there are over 2,000 Marines and an aircraft combat unit that are on board those vessels, and they let us do a number of different things. That's the crisis response team that gets to go around the world. Today, as we speak, we have 3 ARGMUs that are deployed around the world. Unfortunately, that's an anomaly. It should be standard. Secretary Hegseth, the President and the combatant commanders need maximum flexibility to respond in multiple places at multiple times to combat and deter these threats. I just want to get your perspective on your goal to make sure we have a persistent 3.0 ARGMU presence, and to look at how we're going to make sure through our shipbuilding plans that we assure that we have the adequate number of amphibs that are being built. I think that number is probably right around 40. And then what are we going to do to make sure, too, that the A-sub-O, the operational availability, is going to be at the level where we can maintain an ARGMU 3.0 with the effort we have to put in to maintain these ships?
So thank you for the question, the substantive question. Ultimately, we support 3.0 ARGMU. That presence right now gives us a lot of flexibility. Yeah. And this budget supports moving in that direction to ensure that this administration and future administrations have that kind of strategic flexibility with the incredible capabilities the ARGMU provides. We saw it in Southern Spear. We saw it on the Maduro raid. We see it right now. It's a persistent capability. So I think you'll find our shipbuilding investments to meet that as well. But if I may,
sure. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. I didn't see a question in the statement from the congressman. I hope you appreciate how reckless it is. When I said reckless, feckless, and defeatist of congressional Democrats at the beginning, that came after watching you say the same thing on CNN this morning, a quagmire. My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions and utopian nation building that led us to nothing. What we have right now, the way you stain the troops when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in. The effort, what they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that could create strategic opportunities, the courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies. Shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes. And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission. Your hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission and the historic stakes that the president is addressing, which the American people support. Iran's been at war with us for 47 years. You want to talk about a forever war? For 2 months, this president has stared them down. He's going to get a better deal than anyone ever has and ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. I know the American people support that mission, despite your loose talk and words like quagmire. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. General Kane, I want to quickly go to you. We know all about the need for exquisite
Come back. The guy doesn't show his face. I don't know which traitor Democrat that was.
I'm going to find out.
But I mean, it is absurd to say we're in a quagmire and we've been in this war for 2 months. I mean, it's absurd. It's enemy propaganda of the worst kind. And why would a Democrat do enemy propaganda? Criticize him for it should have been fast. You should get it done faster. Quagmire? That's ridiculous. 2 months, 13 losses. But you're trying to, it doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter. Like for Democrats, like with the Southern Poverty Law Center, or it doesn't matter. You create your own reality by saying it. And then the sycophantic, dishonest, unpatriotic press builds on it. And then people like the Chancellor of Germany build on it. Whatever we are not in a quagmire. Can you figure out who it is?
It was that representative, I guess.
No, it couldn't have been. That was the Democrat. He said he pointed to somebody else. Okay. He said, "Let me go to," and he pointed to somebody else.
I'll try to find it, but
Okay, we'll try. I'm going to ask you this weekend to devote a little time to prayer. It is the Sabbath coming up for Jews and for Christians, and we are under attack. Jews in England and the United States and Germany and who knows where, Christians all over Africa, all over Asia. We have got to become aware of the fact that they're trying to take our religion away and they're trying to take our civilization away. That is the goal of the communists who demonstrated all over America today in Democrat cities, which are probably communist cities in terms of the government.
Right.
And in terms of the Muslim extremists.
Right.
These people are our deadly enemies. They want to destroy us. Yep. Like that congressman who says it's a quagmire. He knows what he's doing. He's giving you enemy propaganda. It's like him repeating what Tokyo Rose used to say. Go look up Tokyo Rose. Sick. So thank God we have President Trump. I don't know what would have happened if we didn't. And I don't know where we'd be if we didn't. And let's support him. And let's pray for him. And let's pray for the people of Israel. And let's pray for the people of Iran. And let's pray for the people of Ukraine. And let's pray for the people of the United States and for our president. Keep him healthy, keep him strong, keep him safe. Maybe he is younger than all those people at the villages. At least he is in terms of energy, I have to say. It's quite remarkable. I'm sorry I was a little under the weather. I couldn't be as that I usually am, but I hope we got to put across the most important points about the war against Christians, the war against Jews, and what's going to happen now. I believe, as we hope to bring it to a conclusion, this war. I think that's what we're going to attempt. That we're going to attempt a strategy that's short of a massive annihilation of the country, but a very substantial strategic strike that brings them to their knees. Is there a middle ground like that? You know how you find out? In a war, you do it. That's the only way you find out. So now go over to Lindell TV and go see the great Dr. Maria. And Ted, thank you and Dr. Maria for filling in for me last night. You got great numbers, by the way. You guys did a great job. I'm very proud of you. I hope I didn't bring them down too much, given my condition. And
Not at all.
Hopefully by Monday, I'll be 100%.
That's right. Well,
So-
you're a trooper. I know you always want to be here for your audience,
Oh,
Mayor.
yeah,
You
I
never,
love
you
them. I
rarely
love them. I
take
love them. I
nights
have so
off.
much to
Right.
tell them. That's why I had to come on.
And this flew by.
Yeah, yeah.
We thought this was going to be a
We
short.
love
it
you.
Flew by.
We love America. We love the president. We love our troops. God bless America.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk,